Hello, everybody.
People versus John Jeffrey Stewart. Mr. Stewart is here for a motion for reduction in sentence. You can go ahead, sir.
Correct.
Is there anything that you want to tell me?
Oh, yes, yeah. Well, since I've been here, I've been floor trustee over the jail. During that time, we painted the interior hallways. I've never had any issues with any of this, COs, gotten in any kind of trouble. As far as getting out, I've been in regular contact with my people from AA and my church. My pastor's even come to visit me a few times here at the jail. I've got my community service. I've got that lined up for when I get out. I've got everything in place for my support system for when I get out. Successful. I've had a whole lot of time reflecting here. And instead of dwelling on the negative, I've tried to use it as time to better myself. I've done a lot of reading. You can ask anybody in there. I've probably read over 100 books at least, not to mention Bible AA book. I've been trying to apply the AA principles that I know to the best of my ability while I'm in here. Drinking is obviously not an issue while I'm in here, but I've got great support for when I get out. I've got a lot of people behind me in this, including myself. This is no place for me. Too old for this crap. I've got a good life outside of here, and I intend to live it to the fullest. Not be jeopardy to society by drinking. Like I said before, the best amends I can make to anybody is to stay sober. That's what I want for myself.
All right, thank you. Ms. Robinson, anything that you want the court to consider?
We've reached out to the jail. It's the information that people have that this defendant has had no incidents that he's caused me problems since he has been lodged at the jail. And there's nothing further that I don't think the court is already aware of. So that's all we would like to offer before the court makes its decision.
All right, the court is going to deny the motion for a reduction in sentence. Mr. Stewart, you were the benefit of a Cobb's agreement at the time of the plea, which called for 7 months. You had 3 prior drinking and driving convictions. You had recently gone through sobriety court, went back to drinking. Your bodily alcohol content was 0.316. I appreciate that you're doing well in the jail, but just philosophically, I don't agree with these motions. I think people get a fair shake when they see them in the first time. I mean, we have a lot of access to a lot of information. We generally follow the philosophy of, if I'm going to err in a sentence, I'm going to err on the low side of things. So I just think it's silly that people could come back and ask for reduction in the jail time. The people, I think, should be able to come back and go, you know what? I think they ought to get more jail time. I had more time to think about it, and I think they should go to jail for longer. But that's not the way it works. It's just kind of one way street. For those reasons, the court's going to deny the motion.
Okay.
Two 5-1-3-5-4-3 FH set for a pretrial conference today. And Ms. Robinson, is there an offer that you're making in this case?
Your Honor, there had been an offer in this case. The people are not changing that offer from the plead to count 1, dismiss the habitual notice. The people score the guidelines at 10 to 23 and would cap at the midpoint of the final guidelines. But it's my understanding from speaking with Mr. Greer that he was intending to address the court today regarding whether or not there should be a different attorney on this case.
Okay, well, go ahead, Mr. Greer.
Thank you, Your Honor. I went to the jail yesterday, and when Jason came into the room, I could tell he was not in a very good mood. And so I said, okay, here's what we have a pretrial tomorrow. And he just said, you're violating my due process. He kept bringing up due process and that they didn't search the right thing. And all I was trying to find out was about the search. I kept saying, now tell me about the search. He goes, I don't want to talk about that. That's violation. And he started yelling. Then he got up and he said, I'm done with you. And he walked over and hit the button. And the guard could tell he was kind of in a mood. She didn't go anywhere. I mean, she was right by the door. And so she instantly opened the door. And then he walks back like he wants to talk. I said, just get him out of here. Get him out of here. I don't want to talk to him. I don't need to be sitting here on a Sunday getting insulted by him. I said, just go. So get him out. He filed a motion for a reduction of bonds so we could go out and hire a lawyer. And I thought, he doesn't want me anyway. And so, but I could get nothing accomplished yesterday. All I wanted to do was ask him questions about the search. I think it's iffy. But I didn't, and they didn't have right. They searched once, it blah, blah, blah. Just went on and on and on, not answering my questions. And, I've represented Jason a lot. And he's always threatening to get a different lawyer and never does. And we end up with a pretty good deal. But, I wasn't even thinking a deal. I wanted to get the information on the search, which I think is questionable. Here we are.
Can I talk?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Okay, I filed this probably almost a month ago.
No, you sent it to me and I told you I wouldn't file.
No,
I don't know what this is.
It's a reduction of bond.
yeah, but it was 2 or 3 weeks ago.
You guys can settle your differences later. So
I
I
don't,
want to file a motion for reduction of bond. Mr. Greer said he wasn't going to file. Okay.
It was
fine.
January 13th, I'm sorry.
my thing is I'd like to move for a dismissal because of illegal search and seizure because they didn't do their due process, because any other time I came with a domestic dispute or something, they always left my pot alone, even when it was illegal and stuff. And my truck was on private property and I wasn't even driving it. So, and when the officer said he wanted to search my truck, he said weapons, not illegal substances or anything of that sort. So I feel
Mr. Higgins, where did you get your law degree from?
nowhere. I'm just talking out my hiney, really. But
So why don't you let Mr. Greer look at the issues for you?
I was trying, but you wouldn't.
No, you weren't trying, Jason. Come on.
I
You wanted to know, you were mixing up the two searches. Apparently there was a search a couple
no
months earlier where he had a bunch of stuff and they didn't arrest him. I don't care. It didn't matter to me. I'm talking about this search for a bond violation. Because he wasn't on probation or anything. So it was a bond violation. They were just investigating it. He let them search for weapons, but I don't know, it wasn't clear. I couldn't see if he gave him permission, but he wouldn't answer my questions.
I gave him permission to search for weapons, not.
Hang on, so you've entered a not guilty plea. I don't want you making statements about your case.
Well, you've gotten further with him than I did.
So, Mr. Higgins, the search and seizure issues are very fact driven, okay? And Mr. Greer was probably trying to get to some certain point or certain fact, and he can't challenge the search. He says he wants to. He can't challenge the search. He needed some information from you, and for some reason you wouldn't give it to him.
Well,
So do you want to hire a different lawyer?
if we could, I'll talk to him for a second and we'll see what we can come up with real quick. I don't know if he wants to.
Well, I like Jason. He just gets in moods, and so do I. And by the time he left the cell, we were both standing.
I mean, if he wants to try to help me with
I absolutely will.
illegal search and seizure, I'll listen to what he has to say.
See, Your Honor,
I almost feel like I need to ask you guys to hug it out.
yeah. The problem is it was a bond violation or bond restriction. And so the police report is 2 pages. It doesn't give me any information. And that's what I was trying to glean yesterday.
Well, why don't we give it another try?
Thank you.
Why don't we come back on March 17th at 2:50,
That's fine.
and then hopefully you guys can have a meeting in the mines and figure out if there's grounds to challenge this search.
Your Honor, he's asking about a bond restriction or a reduction.
Okay,
I
don't know anything about it. Ms. Robinson, do you know anything about this? Why you might want to bond
please be
reduction?
quiet.
I know that, at least at the time of the PCC on December 27th, he was set for a district court jury trial on January 3rd, as well as a bond violation hearing on January 2nd. And that according to the report, this original charge stemmed from threats he was making against his parents, threatening to kill them with a baseball bat. That was while he was out on bond in district court. So based on that, and then the fact that methamphetamine was found in his possession, we believe that the bond, which is set at $10,000 cash or surety, is appropriate.
Okay. Mr. Greer, what do you know about all that?
Well, now that Ms. Robinson has brought it up, I didn't represent him on that, but I remember her new assistant was trying to figure out whether or not this trial was going to go. And then apparently this stepped in the way, and so they set that one on the back burner, I guess. And so, but you know, Jason has had similar problems with his parents and has made similar threats. And so it's something when I think it was Grant, I think, that came out there, maybe the sheriff's department later, but they're very well aware of this situation. And so I'm sure they didn't waste too much time to verify it. They wanted to get out there and make sure that everybody was okay. So.
All right, so he was out on bond
Yes,
in the district court, some sort of assault type thing.
yes,
He's alleged to have violated his bond.
yes,
He had a jury trial set, but then they charged him with this possession of methamphetamine.
yeah,
And that
yes.
And that was found some methamphetamine as they were investigating this alleged bond violation.
Right, yes, exactly. They went out and from what the police report indicates is that they searched the truck. It doesn't give me a lot of information as to how. I didn't know whether they were going to impound the truck because, you know, he had this bond violation or what. I had no idea, but they did search the truck and took for weapons, he says, and the police report alludes to that. And then they went back again and found some black case that was in the car that obviously couldn't have held weapons, maybe I guess a small gun or something, but they looked at that and they opened it up and there was a couple bags of meth, right?
Supposedly.
All right, well, with a $10,000 cash or surety bond, I cannot find that the magistrate abused their discretion. I can't see any reason why to go any lower than $10,000 cash or surety bond, given that he's got 2 prior felony convictions within the last 2 years, and he was on a bond. So that's an extremely low bond in this situation. So request for reduction of bond is denied. We'll have you come back from the pretrial conference on March 17th at 2:00.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you all for coming out tonight. I love you so much, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate every one of you. Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.